Hello, what is up everyone? It's Brutal Chaos. Welcome back to my channel. Today, guys, we're going to be checking out another video. This is going to be by Mr. Majorkill. This is going to be the Adeptus Custodes explained by an Australian. Like I said, I've been wanting to learn more about these golden boys. They're some of the people of Warhammer's favorite faction. They're the freaking Emperor's most loyal servants. So we're going to check them out. Like I said, learn a little bit more because they are OP, as they should be, but they are awesome. So guys, thank you for subscribing, thank you for smashing that like button, and thank you for 1,000 subscribers because you're freaking awesome, man, and I appreciate that. And like I said, always support the original content. We'll leave the link down below. Like, without further ado, let's switch over and pull up this video, and we're going to check it out. Like I said, let's do this.
G'day guys and gal. It was pretty nice to wake up today and see Henry showing his love for the hobby. I mean, I feel like I was doing a pretty good job.
I was just going to say, man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous when it comes to painting. I want to pause a lot and rewind too much, but when I see stuff about painting models, haven't got mine yet. I think I'm going to be a Dark Angel main. I finally figured it out. I've been playing some Dark Angels on tabletop, and I really like them, and I also liked them from playing the Terminators in the Space Hulk Deathwing. So I think that's the army I'm going to go with. I know everybody's like, oh, Space Marines, but yeah, I also like the orcs too, so I probably mostly will play the Dark Angels, the orcs, and then probably the Death Corps. Like I said, those would be my three that I enjoy to play on the tabletop. So let's continue. Man, the painting is amazing. Super skill, super talent, and a lot of patience. I can't wait to see how I'm going to do. I know to thin my paint at least. So let's continue.
Job lifting the testosterone in the Warhammer community, but having the
hey man, you're ripped.
Chadness painting Custodes, aka the Chads of Warhammer, means that suddenly we're all cool now. That's right everyone, it's time to shave those neckbeards and jump on Tinder. Our time has finally come.
Hey man, I trimmed up my beard. Let me know how it looks. Like I said, I shortened it and stuff a little bit. Like so, excuse me. Love having a beard, but I had to try to keep it in shape.
It's actually a great time to be a basement dweller. With the lockdown, no one has to feel bad about not seeing the sun for 48 hours, and we're already mentally conditioned to not see or even have any friends. We are the true alphas now, bitch. The Custodes have recently become my favourite faction in Warhammer 40k. Their incredible armor design, badass scenes, and comical autism are really blended together well to create these glorious oiled guardians of the Emperor. It also helps that Alpha
the quivering oiled abs. And can we also say, like, for facts that they killed 100,000 orcs and only lost like what, 1 or 2? It wasn't very many. I can't remember the exact numbers how many died, but I know they killed 100,000 no problem.
Boozer has shown his creative genius on them recently. By the end of this video, you will not only know who the Custodes are and where they come from, but you will also see them as your favorite 40k faction.
Freaking awesome.
Or your money back guaranteed. Let's get into it. The God Emperor of Mankind is good at a lot of things. He's also quite terrible at a few other things, but that's not the topic of this video. Despite his jack of all trades, he really shines through on one particular topic, genetic modification. The Emperor has time and time again created some of the most powerful warriors in the galaxy just by jacking off into a tube. The Primarchs, Thunder Warriors, Astartes, and Custodes were all created from his genius. So it's pretty ironic that the first to be made were also his greatest creation. The Custodes have stood by the side of the Emperor, blinged out in gold, since he first decided to clap the galaxy's cheeks. Every super soldier that came after the Custodes failed in some way. The Thunder Warriors' mental state decayed and then they got cancer. The Astartes spawned Erebus, and Angron was a Primarch. As we have established, Angron should have been aborted. All of these warriors were flawed except for the Custodes. Did you know a Custodian has never fallen to chaos ever? There's a quote which I'll now paraphrase that goes something like this. Nurgle will take a shower, Khorne will overcome his anger management, Slaanesh will swear a vow of celibacy, and Titsnitch will stop playing Monopoly, before a Custodian will fall to chaos. To show their awesomeness further, unlike everyone else in the galaxy, the Custodes' primary function is not war, but philosophy and scholar. Despite being 9-foot tall demigods of war, they consider themselves first and foremost as intellectuals, but that might just be because they're getting full of themselves because they're the supreme master race and the Emperor's favourite toys. The lore for the creation of the Custodes is a little sketchy, but what we know is that whilst Space Marines are created by grabbing a teenager, torturing the shit out of him, and then stuffing him full of organs to force him to bulk up real quick, the process of creating a Custodian begins much early in the child's life,
Dang.
and revolves around gene editing so that the subject will naturally grow the special organs
That looks
and powers
amazing.
the Custodes have. They also pump a bunch of the Emperor's blood into them as well, which is pretty neat. This is also why the Custodes are not mass produced. The resources required to make each Custodian are huge, and it's also very difficult. You also need to harvest Big E blood and whatnot. So their numbers have never exceeded 10,000, with their lowest count being around 1,000 straight after the Horus Heresy, as they battle to keep Terra from being ripped in half. More on that later. Now in terms of their martial prowess, for the most part the Custodes have been written well and their power has remained reasonably consistent. There have been 2 instances I know of where the writers have gone full retard and basically displayed the Custodes as guardsmen. Once was when some elder Harlequins infiltrated the Imperial Palace and easily killed a few dozen Custodes.
Never heard about that, but don't want to rewind too far, but that right there is one of my favorite art pieces that I've seen.
Basically dying from one hit from a sword. The second time was when an unarmored World Eater was able to punch a hole through a Custodes' chest. Never go full retard. Despite those instances, there have been more than enough badass moments and times for our Custodes to embed their glorious golden image in our mortal minds. Some dope ass stuff the Custodians have done include killing demons and World Eaters for 15 days straight without a single second of rest, and by killing I mean skull fucking them like they were bulimic teenagers.
Holy crap.
One Custodian once lost a large chunk of his head and brain matter, yet continued to fight, not even realizing he was already dead. Another Custodian once got ambushed and basically had his head crushed, yet when the traitor who attacked him went to retrieve his weapon from the mush that was the Custodian's head, he was shocked to see the Custodian was still alive and looking at him with his one remaining eye in hatred. It's heresy for the Imperium to record any engagements fought by the Custodes as a loss, because they pretty much never lose. This also led to some pretty false recordings though, as let's say one Custodes enters a star system to get a milkshake, all battles fought in that star system are then recorded as victories, no matter what actually happens. The Custodes are immortal and never age at all, however if after a few thousand years of injury and war, they lose just 1% or less of their effectiveness, then they immediately retire from service, as they consider themselves to be compromised. They then go off to become an Eye of the Emperor, which are basically just really tall spies that travel the galaxy and search for threats. At a glance, the Custodes don't fight it as a unit, even when deployed in numbers, which can be considered as their only weakness, until you realise that they actually trust each other in combat so much that they don't need to fight shoulder to shoulder, as they know their flanks will be protected by their brothers. They've been described as lions in combat, as opposed to Space Marines being considered wolves. And finally, the most badass thing about Custodes is the way they prefer to engage in battle. They don't approach with stealth or formations, no, they literally just beam right on top of the enemy forces like they're Asgardians or some shit, and they begin massacring everyone around them in glorious melee combat. I was reading through their battles and they did this all the time, and it worked really well for them.
So basically in a light of golden glory, they come in and just lay it all out.
Like they win all the time just through landing on top of whoever they need to kill. But Majorkill, if the Custodes are so powerful and awesome, why hasn't the Imperium beaten everyone yet? Shut your stupid heretic mouth, Timmy, before I insert a Guardian Spear so far up your ass you vomit gold. The issue here is that the Custodes basically never leave the Emperor's side.
True.
Throughout the Unification Wars and the Great Crusade, they only really appeared in battles where the Emperor was, and whilst this was still a decent amount of battles, and they saved the Space Marines' asses on more than one occasion, it just wasn't that many compared to how many battles occurred as a whole. When Horus went all bold cunt mode and declared jihad on the Emperor, you would have thought that the Custodes would be able to turn the tide of battle. After all, they were easily more powerful than a single Space Marine Legion, and it would only take a few Custodes to take out a Crusade-era Primarch, or if it was just their commander at the time, Constantine Valdor, then only him. Magnus did nothing wrong and ruined mankind's only chance at beating Chaos. A fuck-huge demon army attacked the Imperial Palace from the Webway portal,
He messed up.
and the Sisters of Silence and Custodes were the ones holding them back. If it weren't for them holding it back, Terra would be overrun by demons long before Horus arrived. Valdor and Lehman then went to spank Magnus's ass, who was being sulky about the whole situation. There's actually a cool couple scenes in the Burning of Prospero book where the Custodes absolutely wreck the Thousand Suns.
I believe that.
By the time the heresy ended and the Big E became Stephen Hawking, the Custodes had lost 90% of their army due to their war in the Webway. By the 41st millennium, they would be back to full strength, however, as they entered into self-isolation due to being depressed that they couldn't save the Big E from becoming Skeletor. From the end of the heresy till pretty much now, aka the return of Gulliman, the Custodes have barely left the palace at all. They only ever get involved with
I'm just curious to see where it's going to go after, like, all this with Gulliman.
outside threats if they perceive those threats to potentially one day be a risk to the Emperor. Like, there could be a full-scale rebellion and war going on Terra, and they would just keep jerking off until the moment one of the rebels looked at the Imperial Palace a little bit funny. When that happened, the Custodes would sally forth and massacre everyone. Despite sitting in the palace for the last 10,000 years, the Custodes have never been more formidable. See, when normal people train, they spar with each other or they punch bags. Well, not Custodes. The Custodes will capture powerful enemies from across the galaxy and then let them loose in the Imperial Palace to then be hunted for sport. This is called
That's just practice to them.
the Blood Games, and they will often drop Chaos Space Marines and Tyranids somewhere random to test if they can protect the Emperor and to find where their weaknesses are.
That's cool.
Pretty hardcore.
It is.
Since the return of Rub Me Up Gull, my man,
I would love to see some of that animated. If y'all know anybody that has animated the Blood games like that, that would be cool to see. Like I said, I wish there was a game that had the Custodes in it and stuff, the palace and all that. That'd be cool to see.
the Custodes led by Tralgian Valoris have become a lot more active in the galaxy. Valoris is in charge since Valdor mysteriously vanished after the Horus Heresy. After defeating a really random Cornite invasion of Terra after the fall of Cadia and the anal rapage of the galaxy, the Custodes have spread out across the galaxy in their attempt to unrape it. Their main goal, however, has been to be present when Gulliman has dropped off the new Primaris reinforcements to the chapters spread across the galaxy, as a way of being like, see, look, Daddy's favourite shiny boys approve of the new Space Marines, so you should too. Which has worked for the most part.
They look pretty cool.
In terms of gear, vehicles and weapons, the Custodes basically have a better version of whatever the Space Marines have, as it is their nature to one-up everyone else. Like their armor is a Rawmite, which is the better version of the Space Marines' Surmite. They have rechargeable shields, their Guardian Spears are power swords combined with bolter guns, and the rest of their stuff came from long-lost technologies. Each Custodian loadout was unique to that Custodian to represent their individual fighting styles. The same goes for Custodian ships, tech vehicles, and dreadnoughts. Imagine Space Marine stuff but way better and also plated in gold. To take matters further, the Custodes also have a Regiment of Renown version of each of their weapons and armor, so like, they have a Guardian Spear called the Gatekeeper that has auto aim, and they have a jet bike that has a special shield.
Dawn Eagle jet bikes
is reserved for these guys. Now the Custodes and the Grey Knights are often compared to each other. They're both elite incorrupt.
I'll say, I also really like the Grey Knights. I think they look cool as crap too, which a lot of these factions do. I would have to say, if I had to pick a top 5 factions of which are actually my favorites, it would probably be the Dark Angels, the Death Corps, the Orcs, the Custodes, and then the Grey Knights. That'd probably be my 5 favorite.
Transhuman warriors who share a direct connection to the Emperor, one being through gene seed and the other being through semen. However, a big difference is their politics. As we discussed in my Grey Knights lore video, the Grey Knights are basically the Inquisition's tack dogs.
The mighty dreadnought.
They will be all noble and mighty, but at the end of the day, they will do the dirty work, whereas the Custodes are completely separate and above the Imperium. Only the Emperor is allowed to give orders to the Custodes. The High Lords and even the Primarchs can request their aid, hence they don't get caught up in bullshit like a stupid civil war with Space Wolves or random over-the-top exterminatuses. So now we know who the...
They take specific orders from the freaking Emperor, so that's the only time you're going to see them outside of the palace.
Custodes are, where they come from, why they are awesome, and what they're currently up to. While they aren't unkillable, the Custodes are beasts, and the latest Games Workshop novels about them are a joy to read. It seems like Games Workshop has really reined in its shit writing recently, so hopefully our golden boys don't get done dirty. When I hit 100k subs, I'll genuinely become a Custodian, like I'm not even kidding. Quote me on it when we get there and you'll see what I mean. I sleep better at night knowing that
And shout out to freaking Majorkill, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the end there. Man, dude already hit 200K, so I mean, it shows you never to also give up on your dreams and stuff there, you know? So, wow, what can I say? Another awesome video by Majorkill. Like I said, Custodians are awesome. There's a lot more to them even from what he's explained here. It was just a short video, but a really good video by him. Like I said, I did learn some from other videos and stuff like that, but you can't compact everything in 12 minutes. But from what we got here, the Custodes are freaking awesome. I mean, they're golden. They come in and flash a light. They do what the Emperor wants. Like, they only deploy when the Emperor wants them to, and they just get work done. Like I said, they hardly die. Like clearly, like I said, and there's no hardly record of them, like he said. So, like I said, they can pretty much get wounded and stuff, and they keep fighting until they can't move. They fight, which is freaking awesome. So, guys, amazing video. Like I said, by Majorkill. Make sure you support the original content. Like I said, I really enjoyed watching this video. Like I said, I enjoy his content. He makes really good videos, so check out his channel. Said I'll leave the link to this video, to the original video, so check it out down in the description as well. And he's got many amazing videos, so definitely check out Mr. Majorkill and give him a subscription. Guys, thank you for being here on my channel. Thank you for smashing the like button, leaving your recommendations to these awesome people who make this awesome content for me to react to check out, because they make amazing videos. I said thank you for subscribing to my channel as well. All the good stuff, man. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video.